Well, guys, I'm gonna make one more video that I forgot that I had intended on making in the first place. And then I'm gonna go spend some time and edit the video from the park. Nothing special. But this one, though, is the one that's important to me. I shared with y'all some of the blessings that we had through this whole traumatic event that we have in the family. But I wanted to make a video focusing on all of the blessings in one video. Not just one specific blessing, but all of them at once, because there are many of them that I may not have mentioned. And I think it's important, in spite of what happened. It was very traumatic. It was very scary. A lot of different emotions was faced, but I wanted to put the focus back where it belongs, and that's on God. And part of what I want to do here is help others that may be facing with this situation in the future, or maybe they have and they haven't quite dealt with it, or just they still dealing with it to this day. And any situation for that matter, if we could look at the blessings and look where God's hand has been in the situation all along, and where He's walked us through it. One of my favorite poems is Footprints. And when he says at the end of it, when they look backwards and there's one set of footprints, and he tells the person that's when Jesus says that's when He was carrying them, was during those difficult times, and they only saw one set of footprints. And that's always been one of my favorite poems, Footprints. And it's definitely been the case in this situation for us. One of our blessings was, in fact, the house church. And one particular young lady, Kim, who really got the ball moving, and Matt and everybody who was involved in totally reorganizing and cleaning our house, buying medicine cabinets and shelving, putting up shelves, and buying the wood to make the shelves for our closets and all this stuff. And all the major cleaning that they did of the house. And everything. Just the house church in general. And getting the ball rolling and helping with providing transportation for not just me, but my daughter as well. Me and Shine both. And helping us get where we needed to get for applying for stuff like WIC and food stamps and things like that. And God's been with us in several different ways in this whole situation. Kirk and I think we're kind of getting in a rut where I was spending a lot of time on the computer, and he was spending a lot of time in front of the TV when he'd come home in the evenings, working 6 days a week, from early in the morning till about 5:30 in the evening he was. And he was really getting exhausted as well, so he needed this time of recuperating and resting and not worrying about work, and so there's a lot of those sort of things that we found ourselves getting into a rut. Well, this was what we needed to shake us up. I mean, I've mentioned before about how we thought that our church needed to be shaken up and they were getting complacent. Well, obviously Kirk and I had also. And it wasn't that we were having a horrible marriage or we were even coming close to divorce or anything. But sometimes we need these, God allows bad things to happen to us, and we might not even see the reason right away or right at first. But if we take a minute to look back just enough to see where God was handling it and where God has taken care of us. And well, some of the other things that had happened through this as well was we got to be reminded that we really do have friends who care about us. I had all of you guys here for my emotional strength. I had a house church taking care of us even before my husband was even aware of anything. You know, we had people take care of me in Cheyenne at church. Um, you know, and our neighbor, he's watching out for the house and all of that stuff too. And then with our finances, I thought that Kirk and I had been talking and we knew we're on the same page about our finances and everything. But there was when I had to deal with all that stuff myself, I come to realize there was a lot that I did not know. And decisions that Kirk had made, even though I had asked him, Kirk, are you sure that we can afford this? Are you sure that it's okay to get a credit card account with Sam's whatever? You know, are we going to be able to pay them back and afford that? Oh yes, we will. Well, no, it was not a smart move. We should not have ever had a credit card or Sam's card or anything. And because I didn't know what was going on with our finances, I was charging things to the credit card that I shouldn't have. So even when he got them paid up and caught up, now we're back in the hole again with them and maxed out on credit cards that should have been paid up already because I didn't know what was going on with our finances. So now there's also that. And then Kirk had been wanting to talk to me about me taking on the finances since I was home all day and as opening up a checking account so that I could write the checks out for the bills and nothing else. Like the checks would be written out for bills and X amount of money put into that account every month just for the bills. And me handling that. And for whatever reason, he said he felt like he could not talk to me about it or he couldn't get my undivided attention, whatever. And it took this situation to make all these things happen. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on of all the blessings that God's been there for us. You know, God's had his hand in the whole situation one way or another. And the fact that the way that Kirk was injured, it could have been so much worse. Like when it hit him in his stomach, that it ended up tumbling and exiting where it did instead of going straight to his back and hitting his spine, because he's already got spinal damage about where his neck is, in the back of his neck and stuff, from an accident that he had with a four-wheeler years ago. I mean, not four-wheeler, 18-wheeler years ago. The last thing he would have needed was damage to his lower spine, and then he might not have been able to work or ever walk again. So I think God was allowing the situation to happen, but he protected Kirk, that it didn't kill him, that it didn't cause more damage than it had, that it was just meant to happen so that all these other things could come to be. I'm maybe not explaining it right, but I'm sure some of you, my other brothers and sisters out there, understand what I mean, and have been in situations like that yourself, that you're like, you know what, there was a reason. I wish it hadn't happened, and it would have been great if it had not happened, but then these other events would not have occurred as either. So, and we could apply that to so many other situations, not just a gun safety or, you know, animals dying, people dying. We could apply it to so many things. Really, we can.